This is just how it naturally works. They try and play hide and seek games through artificial intelligence, or if you will, high tech, advanced tech. So when I realized as a child the difference between, to quote a movie, the inception of Adam vibrating at the highest rate of speed, which is a love vibration, and then you have the inception of technology development. Okay. So if you want to think of that as the divide, although as a monopole, there's just one, which is an infinite love vibration that goes on forever, gifting electrons, right? So that means it's never about us, it's about all the others, because you know that love protects the all creation. That's about as basic as it gets. So when I was mentioning in the past about the shell game or playing hide and seek, they play hide and seek. You can't catch me because of the things that they do, see, that they know that are against the law of one. So they use tech to try and escape and hide in little pocket realities, creating little pocket realities, drawing from the energy that represents what we are in order to do that. So they think they're slick. But they don't realize that the universe itself, in order to maintain what it's aware of, which is what love is, which is photons that burn hot, there is no escape for them. For them. Not us, for them. So when I was a child growing up, it was sort of like, you got to know what side of your bread is buttered on, which is the flower side. So when you're one with the flower, then you realize that you have a future because you are what love is, being in the womb of a goddess. Flower shop. Right? That's why they feed on the gold. That's why they accumulate gold. That's why even during the most depressed times, I can remember seeing a picture during, I think it was in the 30s in Germany, where a guy had a wheelbarrow full of what we consider to be German marks, or if you will, dollars, right? Just a big pile of money in a wheelbarrow. And so what happened was the wheelbarrow was worth more value than the money was, right? So I realized when I was growing up as a child that you realize the battleground is those that put money and power above the living. So they put money first more than they do life. And I experienced that, as I've mentioned in the past, having worked at Rockwell International Space Transportation Systems when they were dumping some highly toxic stuff into the groundwater. So you already know what the future is going to be as a result of that behavior. Okay? But they don't have any regards for life. They don't put life first. They put money and power and the position that they have and fame and fortune first. And the reason for that is because they know that they're losing energy. So the more energy they keep acquiring off us is how they perceive the power that they have to maintain what it is they're aware of through their tech, to extend themselves, to be immortals through technology. Okay. That's your AI integration, augmentation, cybernetic, cyborg stuff. Super soldiers, if you will, the secret space program. Right? Okay, so when you think of accountability, we're back down to a simple calculator between a minus / a plus, right? And you realize that these are parasites, okay, that feed off those that kick out electrons by being so powerful in the light. So the more light you are, the more light you have to give, which means density in consciousness means if you want to cut through the density to experience more light, which experience more love, allows you to experience a higher vibrational speed of what you are as an identity. In this case, a soul led by spirit. So you know that the spirit is the teacher in the mirror. So now you can get down to what was called purifiers, purifying the terrain, which is raising the speed of the vibration, right? and I saw a little short blurb video where one of my friends, Robin Benfield, put up and showed the sound buffering difference. And you could sort of measure how that works in what we call sound buffering or sound compression, which is how much energy, which is based on consciousness, you can compress into space before it's going to expand out of a coil, right? Which is known as a mushroom cloud, which means as above, so below in consciousness with soul. Right? Now you get into the vertical line and the horizontal line, and the center point of that is a four-way intersection, which is a four-way tetrahedron. And tetrahedron is what? Heat, fuel, oxygen, and a gas that burns. So now you get into the difference between a flash point and an ignition point. Wow, I got a fire. That's a circle of light. Right? So that's pretty basic. But I wanted to just clarify a couple things. I said clarification, clear signal, right? Frequency modulation, right? Which is clearing all the distortion, which is clearing all the goo codes that are trying to distort what it is you're experiencing, and that you can communicate, which is what love is. It goes on forever, right? And so, particularly over the last couple of weeks, I've experienced videos that come my way, people like John Gaeta, who was a public school teacher, right? And I mentioned this to my clan mother, that when you actually begin to quantify and qualify based on a love vibration, which is what the law is, and you begin to realize when you quantify across the entire planetary consciousness terrain of everything that was constructed through consciousness, which is energy, upon which that becomes the different reality streams that everybody's experiencing. So you realize somebody living out in the bush somewhere in Eastern Asia, or if you're living on an island like Bali somewhere, or in Australia somewhere, are not experiencing the same visual terrain as, say, somebody else that's up in Canada right now experiencing 3 feet of snow coming down, for example, right? So you realize that the movie screens are different. So imagine that all of a sudden the movie screen, all of a sudden, you know what a refresh rate is on a CRT, right? All of a sudden the refresh rate changed, and all of a sudden your reality just completely changed, and there isn't any more corporations or commercial interstate, right, that are feeding on us, and the next thing you know, they're gone. Which means the visual screen, the visual reality screen that you're experiencing has completely changed out, which means that which was represented by parasitic consciousness, which is represented by every corporation that was producing what it was through us, what becomes the Truman Show movie set, you begin to realize that everything that they were putting on the shelves, including their educational system, their political system, which are systems, okay? Visual information systems. So imagine you're going to change out the entire visual information, right, based on the visual information codes that you're experiencing in energy, something that love creates, rather than something we created out of who they are, that we were held captive to, held in memory. Which means erasing all the memories that represent what they are instead of what we are. Whoa, you mean we're not running on artificial intelligence anymore? We're running on real light, living light, which is love. So that you're experiencing that wherever you go through the ley lines. So you're experiencing an enormous amount of love everywhere that you go, because everybody else is experiencing the same energy that you are. Now you have all the spirits that are free, including in the elementals, everything in nature is thriving. Thriving. Because there isn't anybody that puts money and power first rather than you. And that's what we call self. They operate on self, which is X-men, which is king's men, which is the patriarch. So you can see how that relates to a binary system versus a monad or a monopole, in which polarity integration has taken place. What you realize is the all creation, which means we're giving love throughout all creation, because that's the energy that protects the all creation, because it began with what love is, which is an atom cycling at the highest rate of speed, which means you're not experiencing the torque differential speed difference between something that is artificial and something that is not artificial, which is real. So you know that real light, which is living light, is light that loves you, because you're experiencing the love through your heart and soul that I experience in my heart and soul. So now I begin to realize that I'm experiencing the love in you that I experience in me. And therefore, we're on fire. And allows us to be free wherever we go, because there isn't anybody else trying to hold our energy captive in space, charging us money for our space. Imagine that. Not being charged energy by a pirate. Yeah, a parasite. Imagine they're gone. Where'd they go? I'm free. Imagine you woke up and realized I'm free. Now I'm living in a real universe. Yeah. That's Neo, the one. Adam cycling at the highest rate of speed, experiencing what love is. So there's no separation between the seed and the flower. So you know that love goes on forever. Gifting love. Because that's what it means to be unconditional, which means it doesn't require a contract. Contractors. Contract. Conning, like conning towers. Conning us. The shell game. Hide and seek. There is no more hide and seek. Take their masks off. Reveal who you really are. Get real. We used to say that when we were children. Pull your mask off. Get real. Show us who you really are. You're pretending to be humans, but you're not. Which means ending all their fakery. Because it's not real, because it's not what love is. So when you are what love is, you're able to expose what's not real. That's 528, which is 15. What's 1 and 5? 6. These, by the way, this is called a star fruit. These are yummy. I was living on stuff like this on the island of Kauai, where there was star fruit. This is called star fruit. Okay. And these are some of the most delicious tangelos. And they grow right here. I can walk right outside and pick these things. You know, you can survive on this stuff. You can survive on fruit. Do you know that? Particularly in these islands. You go over to Kauai, where I was having a blast. Having a blast, like a blast furnace. Eating mangoes every day, avocados every day, red bananas, which are called red Chinese bananas, right? And we had a garden. I was living in a treehouse, swimming in the ocean every day, going for hikes up to be in the waterfalls, swimming in emerald pools, right? Being with Mama Earth, being with the great oversoul and living spirit of Mother Nature. That's powerful energy, right? That's why being in nature, you're experiencing the energies, the higher energies. That's why I can never stand to be in cities, because I realize, oh my God, you're experiencing what they're experiencing. Not only thought wave patterns, but how dense it is. And that doesn't even include all their TV antennas, their military antennas, all their radar and everything else is knocking you down. And what does that do? It generates mucus, which are dead cells. So in order to keep your frequency and your vibrational speed up, you got to be running a high-speed wave. So you're an antenna. DNA is certainly an antenna, isn't it? Because that's a communication platform. So these are good. Fruit's good for you. Being alkaline. Acid and alkaline. Yeah. We are not acid batteries, otherwise known as entropic programming, programming people's minds to be acidic. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Roberto. We love you all. 1515. Oh, bye.